All right, go on. Give me a second. Let me go ahead and check the shit. Let me go ahead and check that out real quick. Hold up. Oh, I did forget about that. Hold up. Put that over there. Speak, Gabe. Uh-oh.
Speaking.
Okay. All right. Looks good and sounds good.
Cool. Are we live yet?
We are live indeed, yes.
Okay, so no dumb shit.
No, nothing out of the ordinary.
Okay, so I shouldn't talk about this massive dookie I took the other week?
No, feel free.
Okay.
That's
better with pictures, as your coworkers would understand.
Oh my god.
You know, it's funny. So I have two dogs. You've seen them, right? One of them's a little, 19-pound Shiba. The other one's like the 50-pound American Shepherd.
Sure.
And the Shiba, being the small dog, takes the massive shits.
Really?
They're like 3/4 her length.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy. And then the big one, he takes like these small little Lincoln log looking ass poops.
I mean,
you know, it makes sense if you're doing proportions because I'm 6'2".
Yeah.
You know, I got a lot of coal mine to compact into diamond. You know what I mean? just speaking lengthwise, but that dog just be holding it. She'll make eye contact with you while she's shitting. You're gonna pick this up.
Gotta assert dominance, you know.
I mean, I feel that, you know, if somebody walks into the bathroom, I'm dropping a hot one. I'm going to look at them right in the eyes. I'm going to look into their soul.
And if you're in
fire and brimstone preacher,
especially if you're in the stall, you just got to kick that joint open, you know, and just look.
I take my magnum opuses around 3:30, which is when I get back from lunch on weekdays.
Okay.
And it's a combination of haven't pooped yet since probably 3:30 the previous day, and the coffee starting to kick in, right? And that's a whole nother discussion. Coffee is so good for you, but it makes you shit uncontrollably. It's fucking hilarious in my opinion. But yeah, it's just at those weird wee hours that you just drop them.
I mean,
Picasso had a really weird schedule, and between the hours of 11 p.m. and 2 a.m., he would just have his painting time, right? So it'd be a guilt-free work on your art form, and I feel like the 3:30 is my 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 euphoria time.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, man.
I mean, you gotta shit.
Absolutely.
You gotta go.
Absolutely, you do. All right. So, are you ready?
Yeah.
What is going on, guys? Welcome to the Secondcitykids podcast, episode number 168.
168.
And we are back on the south side of Chicago, Illinois. And you guys know the deal. We're here to talk about some stuff. Now, unusual to typical what this podcast normally does, we are running this show on a Monday night just so we can get the agenda wiped clean, just because it's quite the large agenda. I don't know if you noticed, Gabe. But we're
outnumbered on the movie section for once.
Yeah, which is going to be a nice change of pace. So we got some reviews in here. We got some stuff to talk about, and I'm quite excited. But in the meantime, in between time, buddy, how's your last couple of weeks been?
It's good. It's starting to warm up. I hit the trails on my bike yesterday, but alas, some of the snow is still out there.
Yeah.
And so I have a little fixie city bike, right? Mm-hmm. And I just got new tires put on, and they're slick, so they have no tread. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, man, in that fucking snow, it was just wheel spin and pain and awkward wobbling. Yeah. Just like my prom.
Nice.
Nice. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I'm waiting for it to be warm enough to drive with windows down, you know.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, man, I get it. Like I said, it's just kind of funny that there's these random little patches of snow that are still just refuse to lose. It's a weird thing.
They're the survivors.
Absolutely, you know, just the last of the Mohicans, so to speak. But yeah. For me, it's whatever. It's work. It's just the regular everyday grind. And all of that good stuff. But I am ready to get into this fat boy agenda, and you just added on some last minute notes, so let's go ahead and get into it.
Cool. So it's International Women's Day. Shout out to all the women in our lives, our mamas, our significant others, and everybody in between, sisters, things of that nature.
For sure.
Got to appreciate it when you can. My girl just came down. I made some fucking banging ass soup, flowers, chocolates, the whole ordeal.
Oh, cute.
But yeah, and then you just slammed a burrito.
I did.
That's good.
Yeah, man, I fucking inhaled that joint. I had no other choice. No other choice.
I feel that. And then the second note I put on here. So this day 15 years ago, 16 years ago, because it was 2005, SlipKnot released their third single off of Volume 3, which is Before I Forget.
Nice.
16 years. Think about that.
That shit's wild, bro.
Yeah, we're getting older, and it's not stopping anytime soon.
Yeah, I don't like that shit. Cut that out.
Weird. Soon we'll be doing like a 20-year retrospective on like our favorite albums.
Don't you dare.
If you think about it, what was the last Van album? All Hell?
No, the last one was... Yeah, you're right. You're right.
All Hell? That was 2015, so that's
holy
coming
shit.
up on 6
Holy
years, buddy.
Shit. That is crazy.
6 years since the last Van album, and 4 years since Van period?
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. The passage of time, man. That's just nuts. Make me uncomfortable,
Yep.
dude. Stop it.
Buddy.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into this fat boy agenda. Like I said, we got movies, TVs, and books, and like I said, quite the sizable lad today. So let's go ahead and talk about Twisted Metal. Gabe, are you familiar with the Twisted Metal franchise?
Yeah, we've spoken many a time on this franchise.
Absolutely. So Twisted Metal, I guess, is coming out with a live-action Netflix TV series, and we've talked about the war for content out there. And Twisted Metal is a franchise, a game where I feel like it could have quite a very interesting adaptation when it comes to live action. I hope it's the Twisted Metal Black.
Like the definitive game to have and play.
Yeah, of the franchise, because Twisted Metal Black is probably top 20 one of my top 20 favorite games of all time, probably, just because it's so dark and scary and creepy, and I love it. So we haven't had much more detail other than the fact that it is coming. What's your opinion on this?
It's gonna come down to who plays Sweet Tooth.
Yeah, Sweet Tooth is going to be the big casting role on that. And there's a couple other icons that escape me at the moment, but yeah, Sweet Tooth is definitely probably the one that is most synonymous with the franchise itself. And yeah, I'm quite looking forward to it. They could even do like the more less dark games, because like the first couple weren't super disturbing.
I was gonna say, if they wanted to do like a gore porn, with a very loosely intertwined story, something between like a zombie movie and like The Purge, the first couple of them, I think that'd be perfect for the franchise.
Dude, imagine if it was shot like The Purge, like if it had the same kind of visual aesthetic. I mean, the mask and everything. The Purge already has that.
Like that weird gray filter over the lens as well.
Yeah, man.
That'd be fun.
I'm in. I'm totally down with this. And
there you go. I'll take my check. You can email us at Secondcitykids.
Yeah, man, for sure. Yeah, that's definitely interesting, and definitely in my things to look out for in the next couple of whenever it drops, I guess. Next up, I guess the new Spider-Man movie has its title. They were fucking around with the actors of the film, and they gave them, quote unquote, they fed them all a bad name, like a wrong name, and they were all like, oh, it's going to be called this, that, and they had officially, quote unquote, announced it, and they ended up releasing a cute little teaser with all of them like getting called to the principal's office, so to speak, and he's like, oh, yeah, they gave us the wrong name, and it ended up being No Way Home. And I guess it lends itself to kind of the agenda here, or the theming of what we got going on with the MCU moving forward. I'll talk about that a little bit in a minute, but yeah, No Way Home, good name. I like how they keep it with the home title in the names.
It's it's a matter of time before we get like an animated spin-off that's like canon, but it's like those weird Hulk movies in between where it's like Spider-Man like homeschooled or some shit.
Yeah, some shit like that, right?
Like a day in the life animated movie.
Yeah, I could kind of be down with that. Oh, excuse me. But so yeah, it's kind of like I said, kind of the next big thing. We've heard many casting rumors when it comes to this film, and I guess we'll have to wait and see on which one of those come to fruition. And kind of excited about it,
Cool beans.
All right, so I believe we talked about this last podcast. We came up with a little game where we want to rewrite movies from a different perspective of a character that already exists. Do you have anybody off the top of your head?
So I actually wrote these down because I had a couple of good ideas, and one of them eluded me, and I was like, I got to start writing this shit down. Just because so much shit goes out throughout the week. So I have 5 + 1.
Oh wow!
One of them's kind of a conceptual POV reimagining, and the other 5 are like characters.
Okay.
You want to bang them off one by one?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So my first one is Aladdin from the genie's POV.
Okay.
Because you know damn well Aladdin wasn't the first one that rubbed that lamp.
Facts, actually. I'm sure that there's been many people.
So I'm curious to see the the adventures, the endeavors, and the mishaps that happened with Genie up until this point.
Okay, I kind of like that. I'm surprised Disney hasn't actually done that already. Now that you mentioned
So
it.
imagine, do you remember the Aladdin TV show?
Yes.
I remember that very fondly, actually, and those weird beetle scarab things that would fly. But imagine something like that, something like episodic. It doesn't even have to be like a full hour, right? You could totally get away with like 25 minutes.
Okay.
And just, every episode is like somebody who has rubbed the lamp. I mean, it's a fucking magical entity, It could be thousands of years between episodes.
Yeah, for sure. Because what did he say in the movies? 10,000 years it had been since somebody had let him out? So
yeah, and somebody did the math, so Aladdin's like technically in the future post-apocalyptic thing.
Oh, God, here we go.
I mean, I don't subscribe to it, but it's a cool theory, right?
True, for sure. I actually had one too. I thought that you probably wouldn't even get to. Lieutenant Dan from Forrest Gump. I kind of want his origin story and kind of how, from his perspective, how Forrest Gump kind of came in and reshuffled his whole entire life from top to bottom.
Fucks things up left and right.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, like, I to a certain extent, from his perspective, he thought that Forrest changed his destiny, right? But also at the same time, he incredibly helped
saved him
the quality of his life. Yeah, and otherwise, he probably would have been just another one of those nameless Vietnam veterans that got lost to time.
Cool.
So
I like that. That's a good one.
Yeah, Lieutenant Dan was the one the first one that came up to mind when we talked about it last week.
I actually kind of stuck to like animated movies with this one because we were talking about Cruella, and I was like, I want to keep with that vibe and maybe like reflavor some of our favorites. So my next one, Hocus Pocus from Billy's perspective.
Okay,
the zombie dude.
Yeah, the
right?
zombie. Yeah.
You already know there'd be some good like pitter patter between him and the witches, and just like, oh great, my wife's making me do this and that, and it's like, and then here's the best part, right? When you get to the events of Hocus Pocus, you just give him subtitles, right? Because it's from his POV, so we would understand what he's saying, but nobody else in the movie gets it. And then you can lay the foundation for so many jokes.
Yeah. Okay. I kind of like that.
That's a good one, huh?
That's fucking funny. Okay. This one's a little bit more obvious. I want Harry Potter from Snape's perspective.
Oh yeah, the Sims perspective.
Yeah, right. I want it from Snape's perspective, obviously, from him being a loyal soldier to, for Voldemort for an extended period of time, and then his total flip of character due to this woman, and changing sides and kind of being a spy underneath all of it during the downfall of Voldemort. I thought that would have been interesting. So that's the one that I was kind of rolling with.
I feel like the more I grow older, the less I like Snape.
Really?
Well, him and sort of the parent Potters, right? Because James was kind of an ass to him.
He was, yeah.
And I'm just kind of like in this weird position where like I get it, it's tragic, but like y'all grown ass adults. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's time to move on, right?
Like, don't you got a magical mortgage to pay off or some shit?
Probably not. Do they pay mortgages? What do you think?
I don't fucking know. The properties I own in D&D in my current campaign, I don't have no fucking mortgage. I just magically came upon the deed.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, right?
Absolutely. So my next one is actually one of my favorite movies of all time. So Treasure Planet from Old Man Silver's, Long John Silver's perspective.
Okay.
So you kind of give his timeline before and up to the events of Treasure Planet.
Mm-hmm.
And, space pirates. Like, well, how do you make pirates cool? You either add ninjas or you throw them in space. Or you do both.
Yeah.
Right? And
okay.
I'm down for it. I think the aesthetic was really cool. I could sit here and rant about Treasure Planet all day long. But the fact of the matter is that this character was super well established, had like a concrete personality. He was a good cornerstone to the movie as both like a good anti-hero and antagonist at times, right?
Okay. I like that.
So give me that, give me him like growing up, being a boy, kind of being young, naive, golden-hearted, because he is.
Okay.
And then you kind of see like his downfall and like how he's like, man, fuck people.
Fair enough. Okay. Interesting. This next one is just for my more, I don't know, I guess more for funny. I wanted Sid from Toy Story. I wanted to see what when he was playing quote unquote with these toys, what he saw from his perspective, and I just imagined that it's just something so pure and innocent and joyful. Meanwhile, he's just ripping these fucking toys apart. I want to see what Sid was saying.
With Metallica's "Ride the Lightning" in the background.
Exactly. I want to see what the fuck Sid was seeing. So that's something. A good one. Yeah, that's something that I wanted to see for sure.
All right. So how many of these do I have?
Well,
that is 5.
Yeah,
I lost count. So my fourth one is the conceptual twist.
Okay.
So here's the POV, right? And you can apply this to any episode or any Scooby-Doo movie you want, right? But it's from the POV of the villain, right? And it kind of explains why they have to dress up as a villain, as the monster, and scare people away. So you set it up like, oh, like the dude lost his job in like the recession or whatever, right? Blah, blah, blah. And now he has to like maintain the monster persona to like kind of attract tourists, or like, they've done fragments and bits and little small leads of that kind of storyline in a lot of these episodes and a couple of the movies, right?
Okay.
But I want like a full-blown, like, this is a movie about the villain and how he has to like do morally gray stuff to like feed his little daughters or whatever. And then by the end of the movie, when the Scoob Troop comes in, solves it, busts him, he gets arrested, you feel bad. And for the first time ever, like, when Scooby and the gang solve it, you're like kind of not rooting for them.
Damn, right?
Yeah. So it's like a spin on the morally gray.
Okay, that's kind of interesting. I can get behind that. And no, I don't have another one, but kind of something that actually kind of happened is that I always wanted, up until recently, because we've gotten it, is a look at the Karate Kid from Johnny's perspective, and now we have that. So
I feel like you've mentioned that many a time.
Yeah, so
before even the series.
Yeah, so I'm glad that that's what we got out of it, because looking back, Daniel Russo was a little bit of a bitch. So I kind of agree with Johnny on this one. So that's why, like I said, that would have been, if it didn't happen already, it probably would have been at the top of my list. Cool.
My next one is a Goofy movie from Pete's perspective, right?
Okay.
And so it follows Pete trying to be this like responsible yet reasonable adult figure, and he like in the first Goofy movie, the 98 one or 99, whenever it came out, it's there was a line in there that was like, "Listen, Goof, like you got to be a parent, you can't always be the friend," which is a very valid point at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
And so it's kind of him trying to take care of his son and kind of be like, "Yo, Goof, like I know you're a single dad, right? Like I'm just trying to help you out." And meanwhile, Goofy completely disregards everything. Now him and Max are doing wildly dumb shit.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, his kid's like, "Dude, why can't you be a fucking cool dad? I hate you." Meanwhile, Pete's like, "Dude, I'm like trying my fucking best out here."
Okay, look at you fucking getting all crazy and philosophical with the Goofy movie.
I just think it'd be fun, you take a character and you're like, well, what did they think?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, because like there's obviously there's the famous phrase that you're the hero in your own story from your own perspective or whatever, and you could literally do that with anything and reframe things and kind of get an understanding of some of our more interesting characters out there. So I like it. Good stuff.
I got one more actually.
Oh, look at you go.
So my last one, another one of my favorites, Corpse's Bride.
Okay.
From the perspective of the wife of the main character that was alive, being ready for this big old grandeur wedding, and she's on board. Suddenly he goes missing, and she finds that he's like a necrophiliac. And it's like this like weird thriller horror thing.
Okay.
Like weird like body horror, and she's like, "Dude, I'm so glad I didn't fucking marry you."
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't fucking go through with this.
That one was kind of my wild card here. I feel like the others are like fairly reasonable,
really well thought out, and breaking down the characters.
This is the one where it's like, oh yeah, he fucks corpses.
Yeah, going back to Gabe's normal stuff. Back to the regular schedule programming from Gabe's perspective.
Cool.
I want a movie from your perspective on the podcast. When every now and then you hit your little angry friends like, "Hey, let's do a show." Anyways,
wait, what?
I keep moving. Anyways, I think you put this on here.
Cool. iCarly is on Netflix. Probably the tail end of what do we call it? The Silver Age of Nick, whatever you want to call it. That era of Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
It's on Netflix. It's fucking funny. It still holds up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
for sure. Yeah, for sure.
And just seeing Spence.
Yeah.
Back on screen, and like, you know, when you were younger, it's like he was like having his meltdowns, and he was the wild, goofy one, and you're like, oh, Spencer, you so funny, you so wild. Like nobody's ever like this, but like seeing this as like a grown adult, it's like I totally understand.
We all get it. Yep, we've all been there.
How do you afford this giant apartment, and you got to support yourself and your sister, and
he's making
friends that are making vlog upstaiers.
He's making horrible sculptures, and how is that paying the bills? I don't get it.
I totally understand too, because I went out and we went grocery shopping. We put like a 7-pound bag of cheese in the cart, right? And I totally understand that episode where he's like, "What's for dinner?" It's like, "Oh, butter and toilet water, blue toilet water." And it's like, I feel that, dude. Sometimes you get so caught up in shit, you're like, "Oh yeah, yeah." 7 pounds of cheese, and it went too in like 2 weeks, by the way.
Really?
Yeah,
yeah.
Did.
Adriana bought a bag of Chihuahua cheese for quesadillas, and it was like a decent sized bag. It was gone within 24 hours. So,
I had my woodshop professor had this really interesting observation. It's like the Costco fallacy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, oh, well, I'll buy it in bulk so it lasts longer, but because you have it in bulk, you eat it more. You know what I mean? You're like, well, I still have a whole bunch, and therefore you plow through it quicker.
Yeah, there's probably something to that. I'm sure. 100%.
I also just coined that live on the show, the Costco fallacy. It was his premise, but I just put a name to it.
There you go.
So be on the lookout for that. My dissertation.
It's right. Just your magnum opus. Anyways.
Speaking about dissertations. So did you see this bit?
No. What the hell is this?
New Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh.
By the original creators.
Oh, see, it was the abbreviation that threw me off. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Oh, come on. You know this is one of your favorites.
Get it? I like it, for sure, but like when you break it down the abbreviation, I don't fucking understand what you're fucking looking at. Okay.
Yeah, it got greenlit by Nick.
Mm-hmm.
The OG writers and creators whose names elude me. They are like executive co-creators next to like Nick. So it's going to be their baby, essentially.
Is this a continuation of Aang's story, or is this a new story?
I think we're getting on to the next Avatar. So
the one after Korra?
Yeah, but don't quote me on that, actually.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, okay, that's kind of cool. Did they open up like a studio? Like, didn't they name a studio? I forgot what they fucking called it. But
yeah, so Netflix is making it, actually.
Okay, very, very cool. All right, well, I will definitely be on. That's another game. Add that to the fucking list of things that I am in on. Avatar: The Last Airbender, the new one. Sounds good. All right, so let's go ahead and just continue to talk about the nightmare that is Warner Brothers and the DC Universe. Apparently, rumor has it, and this is something that leaked like a long time ago that didn't end up happening, but it looks like it's happening now. Henry Cavil is out as Superman, and they will be rebooting him again. All right, so Superman is getting another reboot. Apparently, Jar Jar Abrams is behind this, and yeah. So go ahead. Yeah.
I was going to say, let me throw this out there. I don't think anybody gives that much of a shit about Superman anymore, right?
Correct.
That is long gone past our era.
Yeah.
Let me throw this out there. This is probably the best thing that could have ever happened to Cavil. Because over the span where he started playing Superman, the internet found out that he's actually a really nice, wholesome guy that may be a movie star, but he's an everyday Joe at the end of the day, right?
For sure.
And so I think now that he's out of his like contractual obligation, he can go do movies he likes and different genres, and it'll only be better for him.
Yeah, I agree. It definitely opens up the schedule a little bit because you know they had a bazillion shitty DC tie-in movies that they were planning on having him in, I'm sure.
So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, get him something that'll get him an Oscar.
Yeah, I'd agree, and I think this kind of falls in line with the new Batman that's going to be coming out. I don't know how many more chances they need to get this right, but shouldn't have taken this many. And I guess we'll see what Jar Jar can do with it because yikes.
Hey, who knows? He might do well.
Yeah, he could. It couldn't be worse than Snyder. And I don't give a fuck what anybody says, and I'm going to go on a little tangent here because everybody's really excited about the Zack Snyder cut of the fucking Justice League. It sucked, all right? And I get it. Like, they have some cool-looking shit, but I'm always of the theory of I don't know if you ever heard my theory about the deluxe edition albums, right? Have you ever hear me talk about this?
The bonus tracks, yeah. If it was good enough to make the cut, then why didn't they just put it in?
Correct. That is my philosophy on this, and it's the same thing with this movie. And I understand he didn't have the opportunity to cut his film because I think he lost his daughter, right? I think that sounds about right. And, he had to leave. But if somebody else looked at it and said, you know what, this doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense, let's just cut this up, and they did that, I don't know, man. I'm inclined to believe that it's probably not the best thing to happen. Now, will I give it a chance? Yes, but I am not fucking shitting my pants like every other nerd seems to be doing about the Snyder Cut for this film. I don't know, man. That's a little funky.
I mean, yeah, unless there was an additional 3.5 hours of footage cut that you can stitch together a new movie from. Like, how much different is this going to be?
Well, apparently it's very different. I think they said that it was going to be about 3.5 hours total. But I don't know, like the stuff that looks interesting is like the alternate universe, Apocalypse taking over the world stuff. But like, how do you just cut that shit out? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense. And I
Your
get
plot can do without those plot beats.
Then what the fuck are we talking about it? You know what I mean?
It's not a great plot, right?
Correct. Yeah. And maybe it'll shed some more light on that stupid vision that fucking Bats had in the movie, but like, I don't know, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me why everybody's so fucking jazzed about it. I don't get it. All right, moving along. So, Sonic the Hedgehog. So, I remember when all this stuff was going down with his redesign. Me and Adriana watched the movie. All right, the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. It was on I think it was Hulu, and I said, you know what, fuck it. Worst case scenario would be a movie that I could talk about on the podcast, talk a little shit about, right? So we watched it.
You liked it.
I actually liked it quite a bit. Yeah. All right. So it was really funny. Number one, I had no idea that it was actually going to be a funny thing. I also didn't expect them to kind of get into the lore and origin of Sonic, because they actually did that. They explained the rings. Like I said, Sonic himself was very funny. His chemistry with I forget the dude's name. He's like in all the movies that I don't even know his name. But his chemistry with him was very, very good. And of course, you can't go without mentioning Jim Carrey, right? Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik was fucking hilarious. It's kind of harkens back to Jim Carrey's older roles, like some Ace Ventura kind of off the wall, unchained kind of approach. And nobody does that better. Maybe other than Robin Williams, nobody does that better than Jim Carrey, because he was completely off the hook on the Sonic movie, and it was really good. Actually, it was very, very funny. Adriana likes it. She doesn't even like Sonic. Now, me personally, I've mentioned this in the past. Sonic's one of my favorite video game mascots of all time, and I'm glad that this was as good as it was. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. Now, like we've talked about this before, is it going to fucking win an Oscar? Probably not. Obviously it didn't, but it was still very, very cool. It looks like most people liked it, and I liked it too. It's a B.
Awesome. At the end of the day, your movie doesn't need to win an Oscar. It just needs to please the audience, I guess, right?
Correct.
Especially when you're making a video game movie.
Yeah, and I think honestly, right now, and we talked about the Mortal Kombat thing last podcast, but right now, it's for sure the best video game movie ever made.
Awesome sauce. Let's keep it moving. What you got about Wandavision?
So Wandavision has come and gone. All right. I know that you're staying very far away from this thing. But overall, I just wanted to give my closing thoughts, I guess, on the franchise, on the series, because the series is over. And I'm just glad that Wanda is getting her due. All right. Because I think we could all kind of agree so far, at least up to this point, she's been a character who has been tremendously underutilized when it comes to her level of power. All right.
Yeah, she's an Omega level mutant.
Yeah. This is starting to get into her Omega level capabilities. And for those who may not be in the know, about that, I think everybody, the general populace, is starting to understand how badass she is. And they have some very good moments with her in this franchise. I did it again. This series. And I would highly recommend anybody who was at least passively interested in it to definitely check it out. And I was telling everybody else, I'm like, this has made me more excited for the Falcon and Winter Soldier series than I was before. And I had very little interest in it. Now, at the very least, it's got me excited for everything else to come after it. So, good job on the MCU, Kevin Feige doing God's work. We get the point, right? And WandaVision is definitely a hot recommend for me. So please check it out if you haven't. If you're a fan at all, definitely check that shit out.
Awesome sauce. Glad to hear that you enjoyed it, sir. What's going on with this dragon stuff at the end?
So Raya and the Last Dragon. This is Disney's newest jam. All right. It's a movie, obviously, that they have dropped on Disney Plus. They have also dropped it in theaters. And me and the family or my mom actually, because she was hosting movie night, paid the premium, right? The premier access thing. And we watched it. We watched Raya and the Last Dragon. It was a movie I was looking forward to. I liked the cover art quite a bit, and I didn't know exactly what to expect. I kind of stayed away from trailers when it comes to this because I didn't want to set my expectations too high. I just want to name a couple of things. Number one, it puts together a very interesting world, kind of a reimagined Earth where, kind of like a Pangea situation where we're all connected and, different, geography has different weather and whatnot, and how these things intertwine with each other and how the people relate to each other. So very, very cool in that regard. Also, the main character, Raya, is very, very well written. Her objective is simple, and I think it's something that we all can relate to. I'm going to try to go without spoilers on that. And some of the action fight scenes in this movie were very, very well done. Okay. You wouldn't necessarily expect that from a Disney film, but they have like full blown hand to hand combat scenes in this movie that are very, very good. All right. And visually, and I do not take this or say this lightly, rather, it is one of the most beautiful films I've ever seen. All right. Nice. From the animation perspective, they've done things that I did not even think was even possible. Water effects were just absolutely ridiculous. Rain, hair, fucking, like you can see texture in these characters' hair and shit. Some really good writing with some really likable characters. And, I was floored by it, man. It's one of those movies that I wish, pandemic not permitting, that I was able to see on a big screen. Because it was very, very good. And me and the family liked it. Well, I will say it was at least a little bit predictable as far as plot, but most Disney films are, I would say. And that was like my only really minor complaint. This will have you feeling emotions. This will have you laughing. And it will also make you fall in love with the character, the Last Dragon, who was really, really funny. At first, I thought she would be annoying, but she actually ended up being really funny. And I would definitely recommend. It is an A-. Check it out.
Awesome sauce. Disney hitting with them online exclusives, huh?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Cool. Let's dive right into gaming. Short gaming section this week. So I put down that Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 is coming out on the Switch. I feel like this is the port everybody's been asking for.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just get 3 and 4, Underground 1 and 2 on there.
Thug 1 and Thug 2. That's all I need. Give me that shit.
And I think we're smooth sailing. Because, I mean, how cool is that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
You can take it on the go if you play it on your lunch at work or some shit. I don't know.
They don't even have to fucking high res it. Just give me a port. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, I feel that. Like, you really don't have to do much. Like, It doesn't even have to be a 1080p, like, rescale. Just, round out some of those jagged edges and or I should have said, wax out some of those rough rails and we skate. Damn, I really missed the option.
Yeah, you fucked up, man.
Damn, all right. Well,
that was the Second City Kids podcast. Goodbye. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But yeah, for sure. Yeah, you don't have to fucking make it look pretty. Just give me Thug 1 and Thug 2. I am a happy camper. I promise you.
So you put Sea of Thieves on here?
I did. Sea of Thieves. I know I'm getting to it a little bit late because it's been out for years, but I had a buddy buy it for me because he insists that I play it. And I downloaded it on the PC, and I was playing it a little bit, and I'm having a good old time with it. I've probably put maybe about 2 hours in it, 3 hours so far, and I need a crew. So if you're out there, hit me up on the Secondcitykids at Gmail, and we could scour the seas together. You know,
what, did Greg buy it for you?
No, not Greg. Somebody I work with, a buddy of mine from work. Yeah,
gotcha.
So like I said, you're a pirate. You're scouring the universe. You get spawned in with other ships out there on the sea, and you guys may encounter each other. You may not. It's kind of set up that way, but it's very, very cool. It looks visually, like I said, it looks very good. A lot of the great good water effects. I've said that twice on this stream today. So yeah, definitely check it out. I'm having fun with it so far. So see you, Thieves. And like I said, if you're looking for a captain, hit your boy up.
Nice. All right, let's get into probably our longest section.
Mm-hmm.
Music news and reviews. So I want to open up with Daft Punk calls it quits after 28 years, and I just kind of wanted to say that Daft Punk really transcended that pigeonhole of electronic music.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm sure you're not the biggest Daft Punk fan, but you like the Tron movies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you have a good appreciation for a couple of their songs and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm not upset. They've been together 28 years, which if you pick up that number and drop it into any other genre, especially the rock metal genre, it's like, it's few and far between, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
But giants, truly giants, and brought together the best of funk, disco, robots, and electronic music at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
There will never be another duo like Daft Punk, but I think it was time.
Yeah, it was definitely a nice little run for them. But it was a nice run. It was like a fucking memoriam in the fucking group chat about that.
Yeah, everybody was pretty upset because, let me explain this, right? Because there's definitely, like, you can make a Venn diagram of what everybody likes, and everybody's going to have overlap, but not everybody necessarily likes everybody else's thing, right?
Yeah.
But Daft Punk was the unanimous thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, it wasn't a matter of, are we listening to Daft Punk? It's like, which album or which song are we queuing up? And that was kind of this weird bonding point for all of us, because all of us were just like, dude, Daft Punk fucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of sad to see him go, considering that they've been kind of this weird centerpiece of that group dynamic for years.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, man, kind of a weird thing. Like I said, obviously I'm not the biggest fan. I do appreciate them. I do like some of their songs. And it is sad. And anytime that a band that, or a group, or whatever you want to call them, that's been together that long, they in the closing doors, that's kind of a sad thing, Like, imagine if fucking Metallica broke up or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, that'd be sad, regardless of if you're into the music or not, right? Yep. So, yeah, man, Daft Punk, thanks for all the work that you've done. And I know they
go ahead and cancel that next Tron movie, by the way.
Yeah, right. I know they put on a hell of a live show. I've seen some footage before, and it looks like it's absolutely bananas. And it's very, very, very good stuff. So R.I.P. Daft Punk. And again, we add another one to the list. Another one of these great bands that have called it quits since we started doing this show, man. It's quite the bummer.
Into the Hall of Fame.
Yep, absolutely. No, first ballot. Not even a joke.
Cool beans. I want to give an update on a weird little obscure band out of what I think is California. I can't be entirely sure, though.
This is definitely something California would come up with.
So it's a band called Clowncore. It's a duo of two guys that wear masks. Phenomenal musicians. Strange fucking music, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing with Clowncore. They're like cicadas, right? They'll, like, come out of the blue and just drop all this hectic-ass, like, blast beats and, like, sax solos on you. For,
sax solos.
No, I'm not even playing right now. But they'll come out and throw this, like, spaghetti bowl on the floor. You know what I mean? Not literally, although I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
But they'll just throw it out there, and then you'll be staring at the bowl for, like, weeks. They just keep piling up the spaghetti bowl, right?
Yeah.
And then once you have, like, 8 pounds of spaghetti on your floor, they just leave your house. And they're like cicadas, right? So they'll disappear for a couple of years, and then they'll fucking reemerge with new stuff.
Okay.
So the last time Clowncore dropped something was like September, October of 2020. And, we got a little, it was a full-length album.
Okay.
And then now they just dropped another EP. But on top of this EP, because it's Clowncore, they dropped the EP. It's 4 songs. Pretty good, honestly. And then they dropped their own cryptocurrency.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man.
What's it called?
What's
it called?
Clown Coin.
Okay.
And I'm all about this weirdness, man. It's just like it's the weirdest shit coming out of left field. Like, if you go on their merch page, the very last item is just called Peanut Massage. It's 50 cents, and it's just a picture of a white dude, but it's sold out. You can't even buy it. It's fucking sold out.
Okay.
But yeah, if you're looking for something weird, obscure, and obtuse, kind of to break the monotony, check out Clowncore. They've been around since like 2009, dude.
Really? That long?
Yeah, I'm telling you, they're like cicadas.
Interesting. Alrighty, now this corner of the dark. This is Gabe's Dark Corner of the Internet. Is brought to you by. Anyways, keep it going.
Cool. So let's talk a little bit about Sloss Fest.
Sure.
Furnace Fest. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's at the Sloss
Okay.
Foundation. Station Factory, whatever the fuck you want to call it. So I want to talk a little bit about the lineup because I didn't believe it when I saw it.
Yeah, I thought you were full of shit. I thought you were trolling me. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, because State of the Scene, they dropped a fake Vans Warped Tour,
fake Warped Tour
lineup like a week prior, and then I saw this pop up, and I didn't want to believe it, right? So let me just run through it, right? So for Friday, headliner Under Oath already starting off good. We got Astronoid, Cave In, Converge, Defeater, 18 Visions, Emery, End, Era, Every Time I Die, Few Left Standing, From Autumn to Ashes, Glass Eater, Glassjaw, Gideon, Haste, Luxury, Mr. ENC, Narcissus, Open Hand, Reclaim the Empire, Sea Space Cowboy, Stave Scare, Terminal, Thursday, Unwed Sailor, With Honor, and Zao.
Yep. Solid.
Okay, now, really good.
Solid.
Zao's going to be nuts.
There's a lot of glass on that lineup. Keep going.
Yeah. So Saturday is headlining is Taking Back Sunday. Already phenomenal stuff.
Really good. Good. Yep.
All Get Out and Berlin. The Appleseed Cast. The Beautiful Mistake. Beloved. Better Off. This one. This is the one that I was like, I'm not missing this. The Bled.
Yeah.
After, what is it, a decade in retirement?
Yeah.
They just casually go, yeah, put us on. Yeah, I'm still kind of like processing that one.
Yeah, it's a little strange.
Bludgeon, Cartel, Code 7, The Darling, Fire, Evergreen Terrace, Forever Starts Today. Further Seems Forever.
Did you say Evergreen Terrace is on there too?
Yes, Evergreen Terrace.
Holy shit, keep going.
Back from the dead, dude. This is reviving motherfuckers.
Jesus Christ, okay.
He is legend. Super excited.
Okay, keep going.
Hope's Fall, Life in Your Way, Living Sacrifice, Mayday Parade, Mineral, Misery Signals, right? Like the OG counterparts. Scary Kids, Scaring Kids, Shai Hulud, Stretch Armstrong, Touche Amore, and Turnstile.
I'm pretty sure Hope's Fall is like OG too, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Sunday with Killswitch Engage headlining.
Sick.
Already phenomenal.
Jesus Christ.
68, Andrew WK, S Friends Rust, August Burns Red,
Sick.
Bad Cop, Be Well, Boys Set Fire, The Casket Lottery, Comeback Kid, Counterparts, Darkest Hour, Face to Face, Fit for a King, The Get Up Kids, Hate Breed, Holy Gold, which we did an EP review on. I think that was members of... it eludes me, but they're also a weird supergroup. Hot Water Music, The Judas Cradle, The Juliana Theory, Knocked Loose, Love is Red, Meadows, Me Without You, which is also a revival because they called it quits in January.
Yep.
Piebald, Rivals, Showbread, and Unfucking Earth.
That's crazy, man.
This may be the best lineup I've seen for something like this.
I'd agree.
This is insanity.
It's so because it's so OG with a lot of these names, and you got a lot of young blood in there too. That's crazy.
Yeah, and Furnace Fest hasn't been a thing for a while. This is like a revival, right?
Yeah.
Like one last huzzah. And you had me at Every Time I Die, right? I was like, okay, I'll go.
Naturally,
but then, like I said, like literally the only band out of my favorites from like years past and current that's missing is the Chariot. But Josh Scogan's still going to be there in 68.
He will be there.
It is the weirdest. I'm telling you, man, these shows are coming back with a fucking fury.
Yeah, because like you said, it was like something that was like a very popular festival. It happened in like maybe like 2000, like the mid 2000s, 2005, 2006 and shit. Even prior to that, but you know, with a lot of these old school names, kind of sick, man. I'm not gonna lie. The Zao, shit, sign me up. Yeah,
and it's wild to think that the headliner's not going to have the wildest set for Friday.
Yeah.
Like, Under Oath is great. I love them.
Yeah.
You love them. But they're not going to have the wildest set.
No, definitely
People are going to go nuts for End, for fucking Zao.
It's going to be sick.
Yeah. And so I was telling my girlfriend, I was like, yeah, you know, Jake almost died at a Bled. Mosh pit. I was like, I'm hoping to get the very similar experience.
Yeah, I almost died. I literally, because I said, I'm like, hey, I told my wife, like, the Bled's coming back. She's like, who's that? I'm like, okay. Basically,
we're going to the lawyers tomorrow.
Yeah, basically, I had to explain it. I'm like, they've almost killed me before. It's like, there's only a handful of shows that actually almost died at, and the Bled show was one of them.
Yeah, this is nothing but like. This is just lineup porn. It really seems like
nasty.
lineup porn at the end of the day, you know?
Yes, sir.
But it's happening. I got my 3-day. I'll be there.
Nice.
I never thought I'd be excited to go to Alabama. You know that? I was like, we're going to drive through it. We're going to hit maybe the state park and get the fuck out, right?
Yeah.
But now it's like, I'm going to fucking Alabama.
Keep the car running. I'm going in.
Yeah, so it's going to be nutty.
Okay.
I'm excited. It was my little birthday gift from me to myself.
I expect a full report.
If I make it back.
Oh,
if not, I'll have ship my corpse to Jacob J at Secondcitykids.com.
Thank you. Appreciate that, man.
And,
all right.
So like I said, dude, I'm like still processing this.
Yeah, it's a nasty lineup. Like I said, when you sent it to me, I thought it was like a troll. I'm like, yeah, okay. Then I saw the blood. I'm like, okay, now you're for sure. We're for sure trolling.
Now you fucking with me, Gabe. Yeah. Don't be breaking my heart like that.
Then you're like, no, seriously, the blood. Then I looked up like immediately on the Facebook, and they're like, oh yeah, by the way, we're playing a show. I'm like, yo, motherfuckers.
Hey, I know we've been kind of quiet for 10 years, but by the way, we're playing the craziest thing this year.
Yeah. So yeah, very, very sick.
I just want to wrap this up, and I promise at the last bit I'm not going to fawn over this anymore. If you would have told me last year that I would have had Scary Kids, Scaring Kids, and The Bled on the same bill in 2021, I would have called you fucking crazy.
Yeah, for sure. I agree.
So, yeah, it feels like a blast from the past with some new favorites, and I love it. I'm here for it.
Excellent. All right. So, in reality, this is why I wanted to get the episode done today. It's because I wanted to talk about the Architects. The Architects have dropped a new album called For Those That Wish to Exist Out. Well, it's the review. And do you want to go first? Or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first, and here's why I want to go first.
Okay.
I just have to pee. You've been constipated, and you've been wanting to get this review out. You're going to be on the crapper for a bit.
Correct.
Okay. So, I like the Architects. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
And there is something to be said. There's kind of this, how do I want to phrase this? There's this expectation for bands like them, like August Burns Red, these kind of criminal masterminds of the core world that have been around forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And here's what I'll say about this album. The instrumentality is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
The lyricism is really good.
Mm-hmm.
The production, I want to argue, it's probably the best it's ever fucking been in an Architects album. Some of these songs have beautiful opera-like choruses, and they just build and swell up, and they just do so many great emotional things to you. Sweet Baby Jesus, what was his name? The feature with the dude from Parkway Drive, whose name Winston, thank you. The Winston feature. Mm-hmm. Oh man, I never thought I'd see the day for that, but Lord, it worked so fucking well. Mm-hmm. And here's what I'll say. This album, I think bits and pieces were for me.
Mm-hmm.
But as a collective, I can respect all the love, perseverance, sweat, tears, doubt, and honor put into it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's one of those things where everybody wants to read classic literature, which I have no doubt that this album will be. It'll be a classic piece of metalcore, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just like Sempiternal. But, not everybody's going to vibe with something like The Scarlet Letter. Some people are going to find Moby Dick long and erroneous.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it's any of those things, but I think this is one of those classic pieces of literature where I skimp over, but you can't doubt the impact and the importance of a piece like this.
Okay.
That being said, for a band that didn't think that they'd be here 4 years ago,
mm-hmm.
Congratulations. This is probably the most commercially successful Architects album.
I'd probably have to agree with that, yeah.
No, it is, period.
Oh, okay.
It is. That's a fact.
Okay.
But congratulations on every single front. I love a bunch of these songs. I think they're quite good.
Uh-huh.
You're not going to knock All Our Gods Have Abandoned Us out of my personal favorite. Objectively, great album. Subjectively, here and there.
Okay. All right. So as Gabe said, this is something that I really wanted to get out of the way just because I wanted to talk about it. I did write a little blurb here that I'm going to go ahead and recite, and then we'll talk a little bit more, I'm sure, and then we'll move on. All righty. So metalcore giants, the Architects, are indeed back with their 9th full-length album. Now, typical of them, their latest release continues to push the boundaries of the genre and raises the bar on expectations. What's different this time, though? This is their first album completely free of the late, great Tom Searle's influence. This may concern some, but the resilience this band has shown since Tom's passing is commendable, including their last album, Holy Hell. Now, obviously, Tom has passed in between Holy Hell and All Our Gods Have Abandoned Us, but there was a whole lot of songs that he left over, so they used a lot of those. Usually, Architects make us bow to their power, but this time, like all great kings, they show us love and compassion. Unlike anything they've ever done before, they've branched out in different directions that may shock some metal purists. A refreshing change, if you ask me. Musically, it is very different. Like you said, it's kind of like Separate Turner for Bring Me the Horizon, right? Very different. Gone are the very fast, dexterous string shredding riffs one may consider a cornerstone of the Architects' sound, now replaced with huge, big room anthemic guitar playing by Adam and Josh. They are not trying to replace Tom, but instead they are trailblazing new territory. Very unique for the Architects. The drums are as crisp as ever. Dan showing off his elite level drumming to the masses once again. A beautiful tribute to his lost brother, who obviously he misses very dearly, a twin. I'm sure that's fucking devastating. The hero of this album may be Alex Dean, who has not only grown as a great bass player, but has a real knack for his synth and keys, really filling the space with beautiful atmosphere that is the perfect partner from the massive symphonic sounds that are all over this album. But let's be real. The star of this show is Sam Carter. There are multiple songs on this album that mostly abandon their screaming vocals that Sam is known for. Instead of relying on his beautiful, clean vocal delivery to carry a large chunk of this album. Wonderful melodies that may have sounded like they are sung by an angelic presence, but much like all great performances, Sam shows us his range. The other side of the coin, when necessary, dropping his violent, guttural screams to shake the balance of any given song to its core. Lyrical content is there, of course. Really emphasizing the call to fight mantra that this band has given us before, but it's not so much a call to fight, it's a call to take over this time. All right? You can really tell the boys are sick of the status quo and are ready to challenge the system. That may be the overarching thing of the album, not just politically, but the music scene as well. The Architects have proven that they will not only survive, but thrive with this new sound. A true masterpiece. A+.
Nice.
Yes, sir. Man, what can I fucking say? Like you said, I understand maybe why some people who have preferences for other Architects albums may not prefer this one over anything else. And I'm not even ready to say it's their best, because I think Lost Together, Lost Forever is their best. Mm-hmm. But I think when you're a band like them that is just the standard, the trendsetters, they make all the big decisions that all of us follow. You know, I love the fact that they are trying some different stuff. And honestly, when it comes to a lot of these songs, the ones that are the most different sounding are the ones that I like the most. So
well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Let me put it like this, right? In terms that I guess some people can relate to. When you have a guy like Sonic Fox who has perfected and dominated the Mortal Kombat game for years on end, right? Like, what is the fun in always winning? And you know, you can't build from perfection in theory, right? So you branch out, and so he started playing Injustice. He may not be top dog in Injustice.
I mean, he was a world champion, but I got you.
Oh, my bad. I didn't know that. I don't even keep up with the
I got you.
thing like that.
Yeah, I got you.
But you start branching out and you start trailblazing. You see what works and what doesn't. It's very commendable, because I'm sure they've gained a lot of new fans, and I'm sure they lost a lot of old fans.
Good riddance to bad rubbish, my opinion.
Cool. I'm just curious to see what their set lists are going to look like now.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a unique little thing, because even with the most recent album, Holy Hell, like there are some different sounding songs in there, and it could kind of throw off the balance of a set a little bit. With this, it's even more so on the other end of the spectrum. So I'm curious. Honestly, it's going to sound weird, but I think the single choices weren't the best. I think
Dead Butterflies,
Animals, and Black Lung. I like Black Lung a lot. Animals was pretty good. And,
I like Animals quite a bit, actually.
Yeah, and the Butterfly song was pretty good too. But there's some other songs on here that I would have picked that would kind of be the mission statement for the album, in my opinion.
Yeah, hang on. I know exactly which songs you're talking about, because they were the ones where I was like, "Fuck yeah." The middle section of the album is really fucking
very
chunky.
good.
Like,
yeah.
Giving Blood and Discourse is Dead.
Yeah,
those should have been singles.
Yeah, I agree. I'm inclined to believe that Giving Blood is probably going to be a single. My wife liked it a lot. I think it was her. She said it was her favorite song on the album. But there's also you saw, like I said, the song with Winston, and what the fuck is the name of that song that I was looking at?
Impermanence is the one with Winston.
Yeah. Fuck, the one that has the sweetest little pinched harmonic. I forget what the name of the song, but there's some really good stuff on here. And overall, like I said, I could say, honestly, I don't think there's a single filler song on here. I think they all have something different to bring to the table, and it was deliberately built that way. An hour long, 15 songs, man. Like, it is what it is, man. They're just they're experts at what they do. So it is what it is.
Ruling by fear in the past and ruling by love and respect current.
Yeah, I agree.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Cool beans. And that being said, I wanted to mention I don't feel like this was that crazy of a departure because I saw a lot of people talking about it online before I even got to the album, and it had me like prepped for this like 100th era like split, and I don't think it was that wild. Like, sure, the vocals are like, not what they were, right? For better, But I see the progression. It's very the trajectory is there. It wasn't a full blown 180 out of the blue. Yeah,
like I said, like if you look at listen to the last album, they're not totally far apart. It's not a fucking light year jump between them. So I definitely agree with the sentiment because like I was reading the comments to like some of the YouTube videos and stuff. I know, big fucking mistake because all those guys are losers. But like people are just like, man, fuck this, it sucks, la la la. It's like, really, like. I don't think so. I don't think you're out of your fucking mind. Anyways, so yeah.
Well, I mean, you were on the same boat with Bring Me the Horizon, though.
I mean, yeah, but that sucked, though.
Oh man, we're never gonna like. Anyway, let's get the certified bangers of the week.
Yeah,
I think we did a really good job this week. So I feel like the fun with this is bringing to light younger bands. We always say that younger bands are the future of this fucking scene.
Correct.
And I've never heard of any of these motherfuckers before this week, so I think we got 4 solid singles. Did you listen to any ones I posted?
I have not put them up. Usually I listen to them after. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, I figured. Okay, so the first one, band called Slope, and a song called Trainsurfing. I think the song's fucking awesome because it combines all the elements of like that West Coast bounce we like with properly good hardcore metalcore vibes.
Okay.
It gives you kind of the best of both worlds. You want to kind of like crowd kill to it, but at the same time you're like, it's still vicious. Dregg Evolve, just pure nasty, grimy. I don't know where these guys are from. I want to find out though. I'm kind of curious to see where and how they evolved, but just pure nasty, dirty grime and shred. This last one, my personal favorite of the bunch, Bitterwood. Withdrawal.
Okay.
It's got grinding. It's got chugging. It's got shredding. It's like a really good fine coffee. It's got that pressure builder. You ever make a good cup of espresso where you grind it really fucking fine and dirty and quick, and you put it under the group head, and you just get all that pressure build up, and then you got a breakdown, aka the the bitchin' ass cup of espresso in this case, where it's like nice dark and you get that crema on top. Woo.
Okay.
Really fucking good.
Okay.
And
sure.
Contrary to how you do it, I listened to your single.
Okay.
So Vera Revived.
This is right up your fucking alley.
Yeah. So a lot of good things, and when you're like, Gabe's gonna like this, 9 out of 10 times I'm like, oh, this is my new favorite band. By the way,
yeah, I know it is. I know.
I'm getting what's the best way to describe this? We did a EP review and a single review way back in the day, like 2017, on a band called Mountain Mover that was like a spoken word vibe with very good instrumentals. I feel like that's a combination of Mountain Mover and something like Being as an Ocean and like To Kill Achilles, like a weird fusion of those 3 bands without losing the content, the flavor, and kind of the roots of what a good core song should be. So, you take those 3 bands and you sprinkle in like Silent Planet, and you got this nice like poetry melodic core gumbo.
Okay, sure.
I really fucking enjoyed it.
I know you did.
Yeah.
I know you did.
Bro, they're like it's like poetry, but there's breakdowns. Gabe, you must listen to this.
I mean, am I wrong, motherfucker?
No. I'm laughing with you, right? Because otherwise you'd be laughing at me.
Correct.
Like that.
Correct. Yeah. Well, I was telling everybody I think we were on Discord. I'm like, me and Gabe went through this phase where I'm like, I would show Gabe a band, and then he would like immediately fall in love with them, and then they'd get bad. so I'm like, I stopped showing Gabe bands after a while just because I didn't want them to get bad.
Yeah, it was weird. And then like the trend now is that after that like bad album, it's like, oh, now I'm kind of liking this weird third direction they're taking.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I still can't stand that Chemical Miracle by Trophy Eyes, but I love the new album so much. And same with 100th. I'm not about Vertigo, but man, you want to talk about somewhere nowhere? Woo! Yeah,
I know. It was, man, it's just it was a weird thing. Like I said, me and Gabe went through that weird patch, and My favorite thing every now and then is like when I'm talking to one of your buddies and they're like, "Oh, did Gabe mention this one band?" I'm like, "Yeah, I showed him that band."
Yeah, it's like it's like talking to like the dojo master as opposed to like your sensei, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he showed me this cool throw. It's like, yeah, guess who invented that throw, asshole?
Facts. Yeah. Fuck. God damn it.
Good stuff.
For
so
sure.
We have anything we want to close with on the musical note? Oh, I have one small thing, actually. I forgot to put it on the agenda. But speaking of being as Notion, they did drop a new single, like a weird day. Was it Friday? That's not a weird day. I think they dropped it like Wednesday last week, right?
Okay.
Back in Business. Really proper.
Proper.
Check the fuck out.
Proper.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I forgot to mention at the top of the podcast that currently I am blonde.
Oh yeah, you're going gray, huh?
Yeah, I'm going Quicksilver.
We're gonna be I'm going Quicksilver as well, so we're gonna be
great.
We're gonna be matchy for a bit here.
Great.
I mean, damn well I've been blonde for how long now?
Yeah, bro. I was telling Adriana because I was like, because after I get my hair colored, right, or bleached, she's like, oh yeah, because I said, oh yeah, I'm a blonde now, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm planning on going gray too. I'm like, oh great, right? As I'm fucking getting my hair colored. Anyway, so on the way home, Adriana's like, oh yeah, Gabe did mention that the last time he came over. I'm like, why the fuck are you telling me that now? And then I got immediately pissed off because you're gonna have to bleach your hair for like 30 seconds, right? I'm gonna have to bleach my hair. I had to bleach my hair for like 45 minutes. And
well, I mean, to be fair, right? I did get we just highlighted the fuck out of my hair. We stripped it of color and then we toned it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, are you using the purple shampoo stuff?
I am.
Good. And then, so next time I should be like 20 minutes in and out, right?
Yeah.
Because it's already, you can't get silver on brown as much as I've fucking tried.
Yeah. And so yeah, dude, because like I said, my hair is virgin, right? My hair has never been touched. Like I don't even like putting gel in it. Like I don't do that, right? And found myself in an extremely uncomfortable position because I did not realize that bleaching your hair kind of fucking hurts. You know what I mean? I was not anticipating that my head would actually physically hurt by bleaching my hair. It felt like.
Did you do it at home?
No. I had a professional do it. But like it felt like somebody was driving a spike through the center of my head.
Yeah, make sure you condition it too, because your scalp's gonna get dry, buddy.
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, because I got out of the shower today because my first time watching it. I'm like, should I condition? And Adrian's like, yeah. And I'm like, well, fuck, I'm out already. Like, yeah. So
even when you don't wash it, condition it, buddy.
All right.
It's gonna be a pain in the ass, and you're also gonna get like weird anime hair because it's like stiffer now.
Yeah, for sure. And it's just like this weird texture. I'm like, it kind of feels like horsehair. And I had to, Adrian had to
make a violin bow out of this.
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And like I said, I've never dyed, never bleached, nothing. This is the first time, and I like the look, honestly. Especially since she faded me up like with my normal hair color. Mm-hmm. So I got she faded it all the way up to the top, and did a good job. It looks great, but I do have to go back in for one more sesh to get the remainder of the bleach down and the rest of the color in as well. So.
Cool. Well, I think it'll work out. You're going gray. I'm going like white. So
okay, cool.
We'll be on two ends of the spectrum, but great minds think alike.
Absolutely, they do. That's why we have this fucking podcast. You know what I'm saying? All right. Thank you guys for joining us for episode 168.
168
of the Second City Kids podcast. We'll see you next year. We'll see you
what's this rate?
Yeah, we'll see you next time for episode 169.
169.
Nice. And we'll be back then. You guys know the spiel. I also have the outro, so that will tell you what you need to do. And until next time, deuces.